Welcome back to the channel. The American television news industry may be heading toward one of its biggest shakeups in decades. Reports suggest that if the proposed merger between Paramount Skydance and Warner Bros. Discovery moves forward, CNN and CBS News could eventually fall under the same corporate umbrella. But one report has generated even more attention. CNN's biggest star, Anderson Cooper, has reportedly made it clear behind closed doors that he has no interest in working under CBS News editor-in-chief Bari Weiss, as she has given oversight of CNN. So what is really happening? Is this about politics? Journalistic independence? Or is it simply a clash of newsroom philosophies? Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss our in-depth analysis of the biggest stories shaping politics, media, entertainment, and world events. What we actually know, according to multiple reports, Anderson Cooper has privately expressed that he does not want to work for Bari Weiss as she eventually gains authority over CNN following proposed media merger. Importantly, Cooper has not publicly explained his reasoning, and his representatives declined to comment on the reports. That means anyone claiming to know exactly why he feels this way is speculating. The facts end there. Everything else requires careful analysis. Why Bari Weiss has become such a polarizing figure. Bari Weiss is one of the most controversial figures in modern American journalism. After leaving the New York Times, she built a free press around the idea that mainstream media have become too ideological and too unwilling to tolerate dissenting viewpoints. Supporters say she champions open debate, intellectual diversity, and challenges political groupthink. Critics argue that her editorial decisions increasingly reflect conservative priorities, and that her leadership risks undermining traditional newsroom independence. Since becoming editor-in-chief at CBS News, Weiss has overseen major personnel changes, restructuring, and editorial reforms that have sparked internal criticism and prompted several high-profile departures from CBS News. Those developments have made many journalists nervous about what similar leadership could mean for CNN. Anderson Cooper's career has been built on traditional network journalism. One important point often overlooked is Anderson Cooper's professional background. For decades, Cooper has represented traditional broadcast journalism. Whether covering wars, natural disasters, elections, or investigative reporting, his public image has centered on maintaining credibility and editorial independence rather than ideological branding. He also recently ended a long relationship with CBS's 60 Minutes after 2 decades. That timing naturally fuels questions about whether he is comfortable with the new editorial direction at CBS. However, Cooper himself has never publicly connected those events. That distinction matters. Why CNN employees are worried. Reports indicate that many CNN staff members are less focused on one individual and more concerned about uncertainty. Newsrooms depend heavily on editorial culture. If ownership changes, employees wonder, will programming change? Will management change? Will certain journalists leave? Will editorial standards remain the same? Those questions exist regardless of political ideology. Whenever large media companies merge, staff uncertainty usually follows. Is this really about politics? This is where the conversation becomes complicated. Some observers immediately frame the story as liberals versus conservatives. That explanation may be too simplistic. Many journalists, regardless of political beliefs, care deeply about editorial independence. Others simply dislike major corporate restructuring because it often leads to layoffs, new management, and changes in newsroom culture. So while politics certainly surrounds Bari Weiss's public reputation, professional concerns alone could explain why some journalists feel uneasy. Without direct comment from Anderson Cooper, nobody can honestly claim politics is his sole motivation. In my opinion, this story is less about one personality and more about trust. Journalists spend years building credibility with viewers. Whenever new leadership arrives, especially leadership known for dramatically changing editorial direction, it is understandable that veteran anchors would want clarity before committing to stay. That does not automatically mean Bari Weiss would interfere with reporting. Likewise, it does not automatically mean Anderson Cooper opposes ideological diversity. It simply shows that newsroom leadership matters. People want confidence that editorial decisions will be made independently and consistently. Until the merger is finalized and leadership responsibilities become official, much of this debate remains speculative. What happens next? The proposed Paramount-Warner Bros. Discovery merger still faces significant attention from regulators and corporate leadership. Even if it closes, it remains unclear exactly how CNN would be managed, whether Bari Weiss would oversee the network, or how much authority she would actually have. Paramount executives have publicly stated that editorial independence at CNN would be maintained. Whether employees believe those assurances is another question entirely. That will likely become one of the biggest media stories to watch in the coming months. Final thoughts. This controversy reminds us that journalism is not only about the stories audiences see on television. It is also about who decides which stories get told, how they are covered, and what editorial principles guide an entire newsroom. Whether you're a fan of Anderson Cooper, Bari Weiss, CNN, or CBS News, one thing is certain. The future of American television news could look very different after this merger. What do you think? Is Anderson Cooper justified if he truly doesn't want to work under Bari Weiss? Or should journalists adapt to new leadership regardless of who is in charge? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and we'll see you in the next one.